Fire and Ice. Teegra figure is here. Great art as always. Hope the figure is just as good as the art and everything. And, you know, always got to get more than just one. You just gotta for gals like this. Yeah?
I hate this channel.
Hello and welcome, Fire and Ice. There she is. From the Frazetta Icon Collectibles, Teegra. Princess Teegra from Fire and Ice. But what is Fire and Ice? Fire and Ice is an animated film from 1983. Really cool, that rotoscaping stuff. Always cool seeing this up back in the day. It was a collab from Ralph Bakshi and Frank Frazetta. Amazing art. He's so good. More adult film with cool characters, designs, and, you know, violence. You know, it's what you like. Princess Teegra stood out, of course. And though she was beautiful and fan servicey, people like to complain about that stuff, she was more than that. Sure, she got captured a lot, but it makes sense for someone who was away from their home and their usual routine, being whisked away to areas unknown. I mean, like, you're gonna know everything, and so that man, woman, it doesn't matter. She thinks well, she fights back a lot, she gains allies, and has a good head on her shoulders. She's a good character, and more than just her looks. So there. The film is nice, and honestly, it would be nicer if it were more like the edited versions seen online. But she is a strong character, fights back, you know, back in the day when you can be sexy and strong.
You mean my duty is to stay shut up, while all the men do the fighting and share all the glory?
Although that doesn't hurt, and again, I like to see that certain versions edited of the topless Teegras. But anyway, let's just look at the box art here. Again, I like it. I like how I'm trying my best to show, like, look at it. It's got that imprinted look to it. Looks really cool. And the box art, of course, looks great, as it should. It's pretty cool seeing this. I missed out on Dark Wolf, their first little figure from this. Just find out about their Instagram the moment this was already, like, sold out and everything. So I'm happy to at least get Teegra. But, well, let's look at the back, I guess, real quick. So it shows the articulation, tells you a little bit about it, what the figure looks like, and nice. And you get, I mean, it's very nice. It looks nice. It looks just like from the animated film, from the cartoon, and hopefully she'll look like that in hand out of the box and everything, because that looks real nice. Good shots. Teegra's awesome. Always a fan of that in the Frazetta Girls Instagram, you know, doing all these cool things here. There's that. On the bottom to show you who is involved. Let's open the little window, little door here, and just beautiful art, beautiful photography. Great looking figure for a great looking figure. A character, I should say. Get your mind out of go here, there, gnarly. And it just looks good. Can't wait to see what else we have. And it's nice to see more female figures like this instead of the same old set that are just the reuse and not afraid to. Nowadays, the female figures are afraid to show feminine forms, and especially certain feminine forms. There's going to be certain ways and more of a censored look. That backdrop looks really good. Here she is out of here, and let's just dive into her. Alright, first things first, this can't be helped. This is how it was when taken out of the package. You just see that big fat ass. I mean, and it's a big juicy wet ass. I mean, it's actually wet.
Cake.
Yes, so we got the Mr. Wrapper thing out of the way, and you can't help it. She's wet. I know it's Titles of Figures, but it's funny to have seen her big, fat, thick, wet ass. So, alright, we're just going to get that in there. That's one of the best sculpted asses I've seen.
My God, this is juicy.
If you're getting triggered by this already, then, you know, why'd you click on the video to begin with? But holy crap. So that's a good sculpt so far. The face, very nice. I like the face. I like the purple top that's on there. It looks very nice. It goes over very well. And just overall, just looking at this figure, she looks very nice. Very nice indeed. I like the thing with the loincloth in the front. Good sculpt and everything. But I mean, those buns. Holy crap, that cake. Arkham Catwoman from McFarlane has a competitor right now. There's competition with this. And they do a good job of having it look just like that from the film. It looks just like that top off. Now let's take a look at that whole outfit like that. And spread that there. The legs spread pretty well, and you get to see all the insides. Holy crap. You really get to see the insides. And the loincloth thing is very, very cool. I love the purple. I love the material for both those coverings. And look how floppy that is. Look how floppy it is right there for her. And then you can see the belly, good belly. And the shirt, the material for it is just this nice kind of soft plasticky goods. And then you lift up, and then, yep, no, she's wearing stuff underneath. It ain't that version that you can find on YouTube and everything. But let's take a look. Good toes, good knees, good legs, good sculpt and everything to get the muscle tone and everything. She looks good. Just that's standing right there alone. It looks good. She stands pretty decently. She doesn't have any holes on the bottom of her feet to put in pegs or anything, sadly. But she stands pretty decently. And there's a lot of articulation I think is done very well, although we'll get into some of the sadder parts towards the end. But a very, very beautiful face sculpt. She's beautiful. She looks great. It's nice to have these female figures looking beautiful. And look, there's a smiling face. It's not always just grumpy. You can have her just the generic face, the default face, an angry face, and a happy face. It's amazing they have this. And then there's the weapons, some items in there. There's an extra piece of hair, hands, the gist. And then there's that guy. Yeah, I love that face. Oh, and then the spear too. And but she is absolutely gorgeous. I love the figure. It looks just like it. I mean, she looks just like she came from the movie. And again, I can't help but focus on, holy crap, the buns on this girl are, damn, very, wow. And it's nice because the thing is, because you don't get figures like this anymore. Female figures, in America at least, we won't even go down the rabbit hole for Japan, but just look at all the angles there. She looks great from every angle. And from every angle, from the side, from the back, just all that detail on her. But you don't get this stuff. You don't get this stuff as much. It's nice. That's why it's nice to see characters like Renette from NECA. Like, they're not afraid to make women look like women. If there are curvy, busty, vivacious, just curvy women of all shapes and they have breasts and they have the hips and the butts and everything. They're not afraid to do that for figures, unlike Marvel Legends. But let's get her out of this real quick. And show her off without that purple thing over her. Yeah, it's like, yeah. Oh, crap. Oh, well, not all that, though. We gotta, oh, crap, even worse. We don't have her head on there. We didn't want to expose that much, but let's see. Oh, it came right off. Good. And look at that. Looks nice. So, again, I've heard a lot of people, again, if you're getting upset by certain things on this, why'd you click on the video? But let's take a look at this right here. That looks nice. I mean, geez, you even get the imprints of her breasts on there, and then even the pokies right there. It's pretty nice. It's a good little material. It's fun. You can put it on other characters, too, if you want. And that's what I like about these. I already know a lot of people are like, wow, already people are planning. I've seen people on Instagram already showing pictures before I even got a chance to finally finish uploading this. And a lot of things have been happening and just didn't have time to get this up. So I wanted this up days earlier, but, stuff. But she looks amazing. And yeah, that's a very unique thing there. So you can take that off. Very nice. Instead of it being hard, and you just, with that strain and everything, you can just pull that right off her, and then you don't have to have that on there. And again, you put other figures. I've seen people on Instagram already just talking about how they want to, how her body is perfect for, seeing if you can put other people to customize with, have fun with other head sculpts and other characters. Woo, look at that thing dangling. But it's a great body, and you can see, I like the colors, I like the tones, I like the airbrush all over it. You get to see every little bit of detail. Again, her body just glistens. Her body is wet. Not just her big fat cake you can sink your teeth into. And the stomach, too. It's a good stomach. She's got the good, again, the breasts and everything look really nice. So let's take a look at her posability. Her articulation is nice, but I enjoyed seeing people just talking about, how this is a body you can do a lot of fun stuff with. And, of course, we'll have some of that stuff, too. We're going to, too much fun. We're going to do its own separate video. I mean, look at that. Damn. But anyway, it's amazing. So I had no problem with this. The knee joints, everything worked well. Well, anyway, we'll get to the only negative thing, sadly, at the end, but positive here. All the positives. She looks good. It's a great figure. I mean, I was surprised with how the legs and how you can swivel where the knee joint, the ball joints and stuff or whatever on the knees are. You can swivel them to the side. So there's a lot there. Just be careful. I always worry about figures in general, which is a shame, but she goes nice. That swivels and swerves. And you get some posability from her. And again, as great as the figure this is, and again, I just like that purple is very nice. And again, great body, great sculpt and everything, just to show off all this. And then the posing, pretty nice. She's giftedly sculpted from the wonderful creations from the actual film itself to all the everyone involved in that. And then everyone involved in recreating this in figure form. Holy crap, she is mesmerizing. She is wonderful. And again, those knees look like actual knees. I'm actually kind of, happy with that. Yeah, that looks like knees. They look really good. And look at that. Like I was saying, you can swim to the side. Fascinating. But I'm happy to see people want to do lots of customization with his bodies because, like, not everyone is... I know nowadays people are offended and afraid and seem to be upset against... Look at that big gap in there, though. Not the crack. I mean the gap. The crack's nice. But I'm talking about how everyone's like... You see it. If you don't see it, then you take your blinders off or you just don't want to admit it. But there's this stuff against the female form and femininity. And women looking like women nowadays. They're trying their hardest not to have that look like that in video games, comics, you name it. It's very fascinating. You know, one gaze is bad, but the other gaze seems to be okay nowadays, if you know what I'm talking about. But look at that beautiful head, the beautiful face. She just looks beautiful all and out. But there is that on here, and I'm glad that these people are going how it should be. This is how it should look, and they're not afraid to have these characters. That's why people are happy, and why people get these. I've seen people talk about like, blah, 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 just blah, 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 but then they'll go and get this and do the same thing with customizing. A lot of people are doing what we've been doing for years now, customizing April O'Neil. Yeah, now everyone who was like shunning that are now doing that. It's funny when you think about it, but what a great figure. Love her a lot. I'm glad to see more female bodies like this. Let's get more in there because not everyone is just that small, petite little girl with no breasts, no curves or anything, no junk in the trunk, etc., etc. And it's sad when you see certain ones like the Marvel Legends and other figures where it's like, oh, here's Power Girl, how she is in the comics all the time. Well, here's the body sculpt we're going with, but that's not her body. They need to be covered. This is great. I'm glad that the people behind this, Frazetta, the Frazetta Girl site and all that there, all these people are very happy with supporting art and beauty just like he did, Frank did, and it's amazing, and it should be celebrated. Great stuff. It looks perfect. Very good job. Now let's, very good job on all that stuff. Likeness, let's just keep moseying on down and have a little bit more fun and comparisons and fun. Here she is with Khazar. I think that works a nice thing with her with Lauren's character in a sense. And there she is with the other hair and the sculpt, looking very nice. And again, it's great to see more companies and artists making female figures like this, especially during a time when there's a disturbing amount of hate for the female form. I mean, look at 5K Toys' Instagram post. They put up a pre-order for a nude body for customs, etc., and there were a handful of, well, mostly men, which is creepy, complaining and getting freaked out over the nude female ones. Not a single comment, though, on the male ones. They were, like, gushing over it. Very telling. So many have been groomed these past few years to hate the female body, which is interesting. Why is she dressed like this? Well, why is he dressed like this? Why does he get the word loincloth to be half naked? No one ever complains. They complain about women's armor and fantasy and stuff. How come he gets to wear just a loincloth, but her wearing a bikini is bad? How are people like, how does she get protected from that? How does he get protected from that? As long as they don't hit him in his dick? Funny stuff, isn't it? Yeah, I tell you. And this sculpt looks great, although it's hard to get that to really pop in there, and I'm afraid to pop in there because I want to break it. But, I mean, this is a good way to examine just to show off. Nope, not the body, the face. So you got this other face, the 3 heads you get, and then the hair, which looks nice. And then it's got a little ball thing there, so there's a hole in the top of her head, which is kind of interesting, and then she can place it in there that way. So that's a way to do it. And yeah, there's a different thing of hair, which is nice, so it's not always that one way of doing it. Not the wavy to the side, just kind of a down, which works, but it's harder to get the heads in. For one of the few complaints I have on the figure, it's hard to get that in there properly, and then hopefully not worry about scuffing it. But here's her smiley face. My other downside with it is, it looks like somehow her nose got smushed in. Like if this were modeling clay and you were modeling it, her nose looks like it was pressed in. So my figure has a pressed in nose, and well, but now here's the big guy. Here's our little Black Panther buddy. He looks so good. I just wish he had more than just kind of a stand, because he's hard to pose with, because he only is in that pose, and it's hard to find a great place to place him and put him in for some good shots. You got to do a really good job of getting this guy to kind of stand still. But his tail moves and his head has some fun features. Shaitan looks really great, though. It's just a nice mold. It looks like something you can get, like, where they have, like, just animal figures, you know, like you see in kids' stores and stuff, and everything, like at a Hobby Lobby or a Michael's or something. So it's pretty nice. He looks really good, though. The mold looks good. You can see the detail and the muscles and tones of everything on the fur. His head's really nice. That's a really pretty face. Those eyes really pop. And then what is really nice, though, at least, there is this feature where his mouth has the hinges on there, and then you get the more, you know, like, less of the little black dots on his eyes, so it's really cool and more vicious. Look at that. You can open and close the mouth. I find that to be a very fascinating feature. And then there's more of her weapons, her accessories for her to have and use. But wait, what's this? Yeah. Can we O'Neil her? let's see if we can. So here we go, starting off. Can we make April O'Neil like we like to do here? Can April O'Neil's head fit on there? Well, yes. The old 2-pack with the damaged foot soldier, the OG April, her head fits on there very nicely. So that big head kind of works on this. So if you want April O'Neil dressed like this and that nice, barely there anything bikini showing off that big cake, you know, the turtles want to have a nice happy birthday and have some really good cake to have, this April, this will do the trick. I love it. She looks great, and I think, you know, Mikey approves it. Yeah, dudes, looking good, girl. Thank you, Mikey. She's strong and beautiful, folks. Yes, you can have that, but here's the ultimate one, and, yeah, no. Unfortunately, she does not fit, which is surprising, but, no, not that nice, juicy one that she has, no. But, a day later, when I was finishing up on some shots and some editing, I was like, what the hell, let's put this one on there. Another head, the second head, not the blindfold one, let's see if that works. But the second head fit on there perfectly. So one head doesn't fit on there, but this head fits on there quite nicely. And so now you can have both Aprils, and that's, you can get the NECA Ultimate April posing on Teegra's body and have her be some wild, sexy, badass jungle woman. You know, who doesn't like, you know, a woman that's beautiful, strong, smart, badass? You gotta love it. April is all those things. She's not just the damsel in distress, as everyone likes to say, or else she wouldn't have been in everything. She could hold her own, especially if you watch the first Turtle movie. She looks great, though, doesn't she? Look at her with that mic in her hand. Very nice. Very good indeed. And then we decided to have just a little bit more heads. Here she is from G.I. Joe. Oh, well, you know, we'll kind of do our own video to show more of these. And here's Teela. She doesn't seem to work too bad. The new Teela Cartoon Collection version. Oh, my goodness. And then she works very well. A friend of mine told me, hey, it kind of makes me think of Pocahontas. I'm like, yeah, she can do like a Pocahontas type of thing there. Elisa, she works very well. And then we have more Panther. Well, look at this, Panthera. Great series from the Legends of Dragon Noir. So I figured, let's get a whole bunch of badass females together in one shot. Just have those Wirgos. And some of these old figures that hold up, like, you'll see one of the negatives for a lot of issues I have where it comes with the joints and stuff breaking. These are old figures. She's an old figure, and the one next to her is an old figure. They felt so nice, not loose, but felt so good moving the joints. And I didn't have any fear of, like, these things are going to break. And they're older. But we have a couple of great figures here. Maybe we'll do some more on there if you want to see more about them. But she's an interesting character, and there's Cave Woman. I had the comics. Great art, great artist for that. I wanted a little more about the girl next to her. But they have companions, too. It's great. Here's the one other girl from Legends of Dragon Noir. And she looks great. So all these powerful, strong, battling war women just looking good. And then she's from the princess from the Scorpion King. Figure, why not get her in there? She works, and I think they all work. So you got all these nice, sexy, strong, powerful men that will kick your butt and take on anyone. Off for one nice little gathering shot here, and I'm very happy. I like all the different companions you get too. Then April again, with that other head, well then there she goes, she can wear that. And wear the little drape thing over them. So all together, all these women, very nice. And April fits in just perfectly with all these. So you can do all this nice customization. We will be doing more of just enjoying all of them here. More a video separate. Teegra O'Neil to show off more of her, and some of the other ones as you just saw briefly of some characters. We have a couple other female heads and stuff that work on everything. So they'll work. And then she has her little companion too. She has her red little cat down there to be her companion with the dog. I thought that was very fitting. You got a little dinosaur buddy, a little dog buddy, a little cat buddy, Shaitan over there. Very cool. And Fire Ice is a very good thing. And then just look at all these powerful women together doing stuff. Teegra fits right in with the collection. The girls are welcoming her, and we welcome her too. And we love it and appreciate her. That indeed we do. On to the last bit of stuff, I guess. Yay for Teegra. And again, as I said, wow. The booty action on her, just, I was like, wow, there hasn't been a sculpt since the Arkham Catwoman that I've seen from McFarlane that could be matched. And then I'm like, oh wow, Teegra, there you go. Now we can have the Battle of the Butte, I guess. And then Cave Woman has a pretty nice one too, so I figured why not just enjoy it for all you lovers of the cake. Mr. Ratburn's appreciative of this. Gotta love it. And then maybe do like, if only we had like some stuff we can do a little ghost ass dun 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 dun. But let's just enjoy all this very good figure, I have to say. It's funny, though, too. I've seen so many complain about women's bodies, clothed or non-clothed. Even when they're clothed, it's weird that weirdos get so upset over this. In a movie or in a game, it's like, oh, okay, you know, you're okay with the blood and splatter, or the woman getting beaten up, or like, oh, it's so cool, her blood and guts everywhere. No, not her boobs, something like that. It's very weird today, so I'm glad that these figures do this stuff. And again, the knees were very great. It's disturbing. Also, why do people seek out these things if they seem to dislike it? Like, people, if they were complaining about this, why did you click on the video? Why did you look at the figures in the first place? Interesting, but she's a great figure, except I have no clue what happened there, but now that just happened all of a sudden. Man, I was really giving this high props. And now, I don't even know how that even happened. Only downside is, I don't know what happened. Here, this one's very nice, but then on finishing up, just trying to bend it back, I didn't even put any force behind it, and it snapped. So, I know I got two, but it still just kind of sucks that, like this one, bends back very nicely and wobbles and everything, but what a shame. I know I got two, but would have liked to have two where I can actually, I can't have to glue it and not be able to bend that leg again. The only other complaints that I can have is it's hard to get these heads back on the pegs with this hair, and then these two heads are hard to get onto the ball joint. I didn't see much paint chipping, just a little bit on the hands, and then this guy was a pain in the butt to get his head off to put the other one on. And I can't even get that on right now, so it hurts. Still a nice figure, but just a little upset with just those couple of things. I believe that happened when I was trying to give her a certain pose, when I had to move her cheek into get her legs bent, and then you got a little bit of a scuff, so that's very disappointing. But just look at her. Look how she looks in the film. I mean, everything seems accurate. The booty, I mean, that's amazing how they did that accuracy. The face, she looks beautiful in the movie, and she looks beautiful in the figure form. Yes, she does. Don't worry about it. Absolutely stunning. Great figure. It was fine. We were able to pose, and I was showing off how the hinges work and everything. She was able to side and everything. Looked very good. But then, sadly, you know, on the next day when trying to do something, so I know sitting out for a day, I had her in her box and everything, and then that leg snapped back when I tried to get her into that pose, which is a shame. But here they are together. I think it worked with Zabu and everything. All these different cats. Even our boy Cringer, it all works. Like it very much. So sadly, we say goodbye to Teegra for now. Fire and Ice, Frazetta, everyone involved in this. Great job of doing this. Great film. Go see it. I'm a big fan of the film, so hopefully I can get Dark Wolf eventually, and hopefully do some other characters. Hopefully do some more of the female characters. I know there weren't that many, but it'd be nice to see more. And maybe another version of Teegra. I don't know. She's a seller. She's great. She's beautiful. She's amazing in animated form and in figure form. Thanks again for watching. Let us know what you think, and I guess that's it. Bye.